Now, some of these children have been removed from their parents because of violence in the home. They can be severely traumatised, and if they were in foster care, the foster parents would receive financial support from the state, as they should. But when those children go to their grandparents, they're not getting the same financial support. We think they should, so the New Zealand First, who are pushing for that to happen. Dan Parker with the grandparents doing the important and sometimes very difficult work of raising damaged children.
Go see the goats. What were the goats doing?
Spending plenty of quality time with their grandson was always an exciting part of Blake and Julie Herbert's plan for retirement.
Daisy!
But what they didn't plan on was raising him on their own.
When Ryan was 5 months old, he was shaken by my daughter-in-law's boyfriend at the time, and he was taken to Starship, where he spent 4 weeks. He then was transferred to the Wilson Centre, and he was there for 3 months. And from there, SIFS asked, because I was visiting every day, SIFS asked if I was interested in taking him on because his mother wasn't able to.
Yeah, boy.
Since then, Ryan has lived with his grandparents every single day. He's now 10, almost completely blind, brain damaged, and has demanding special needs. One of the few things which calms him from violent tantrums is his radio. He's so tough on the headphones, he goes through a set every day.
The idea was that because we had our family young, we'd do the things we didn't do in our early 20s. And that was the plan, but it's changed. And I mean, you do it because he's family, he's blood, and that's just really what's required.
The Herberts are representative of a growing section of New Zealand society. Grandparents missing out on retirement and the golden years and assuming the role of primary caregiver to their grandchildren.
One of the big reasons so many grandchildren are moving in with their grandparents is that the children are being removed from abusive homes. Sadly, New Zealand has one of the highest rates of child abuse in the developed world.
Poverty, substance abuse and the breakdown of the family unit are also adding to the problem.
Whenever we see some of the abuse that goes on in our country, everyone says, we're the family. Where is the family? Well, hey, we're here. But, you know, we're down there, we're doing a job, we're taking care of these children. But we need support in doing that. Our people need support in doing that. It's not easy.
14 years ago, Diane Vivian ended up in a similar situation to the Herberts, caring for her traumatised grandchildren. Realising there was little to no support for people in her situation, she started her own support network, simply called Grandparents Raising Grandchildren.
The need has grown so much. We've had to employ a CEO. We've also had to employ 4 field officers who have got particular expertise in certain areas to help the grandparents. We knew it was a tiger. We didn't realise how big this tiger was going to become.
GRG now has more than 5,200 members and is growing at a rate of around 30 new families each month. Over 50% of the members are solo grandmothers receiving a pension of around $300 a week and struggling to get any further support.
Every child, youth and family office is different. They've all got different criteria. And the saddest thing of all is we, as a not-for-profit organisation, have had to turn around and employ a beneficiaries advocate to stand up for the rights of grandparents who are being told, no, you're not entitled to anything, or you're only entitled to family tax credits. That's $49 a week. That's not going to feed and clothe and take care of a grandchild.
In Mangere, Teresa and Roger face the challenge of feeding 6 hungry grandchildren and whoever else turns up for dinner.
Would you like spaghetti bolognese or something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So shall we make some?
Yeah.
All right. Are you going to help me?
Both are on the pension, but also receive unsupported child benefits, which help make ends meet.
Yeah, down there in the bottom. Their mum, well, we found out later in life that she suffers with bipolar and personality disorder.
In their spare time, they are pastors at their local church, but there's not much of that with 8-year-old Benaiah. He's severely autistic, he can be violent, and is curious about the world outside his childproof fence. They try to keep on top of Benaiah's seemingly endless supply of energy with an old on treadmill.
But some days I can be on my feet all day, just, you know, it takes me all day to clean up because of the arthritis and that, you know. And then I cook tea and, I don't know, you just get to the stage where you can't wait to go to bed. You know, it's the only time you get to relax really, when you go to sleep.
Financial worries are a close second, and what many families like the Van Coolenbergs are hoping for is that the government will help by giving them the same assistance that foster parents receive.
Late last year, New Zealand First MP Tracy Martin had her bill for parity selected at a parliamentary ballot. It could be the breakthrough these families have been waiting for.
It's very, very simple. It gives them the clothing allowance. It provides that $1,000 a year that foster children, children that have been orphans and unsupported children but have been placed with people who aren't related to them, get.
It's not a huge amount of extra support, but it will make a big difference for those grandparents struggling on a fixed income. Pearl was 68 when she became the guardian of her 5-week-old granddaughter.
They said if I couldn't take her, she would be put in a foster home. Being my first grandchild, I couldn't do that.
Sheridan is now 12 and a half, and Pearl, who turns 80 in June, has made sure she hasn't missed out on anything. But that effort in other cases can take a toll.
I worry that our grandparents out there are not taking their proper medications. They're not picking up their prescriptions from the chemist because Johnny needs to go on a school trip. Johnny needs a school uniform. A lot of our grandparents are on their pension. You know, and you look at the cost of school uniforms today. Education's not free in our country.
The bill for parity is expected to have its first reading in February.
Campbell reporting now. National